Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We got a slightly more of a boring post today. We are going to scan out the chain from my wormhole. As you guys may have heard in previous videos, we are now living in a wormhole. Hopefully that's not an actual cloud, thank goodness. I am cloaked right now, so they can't see me, which is really convenient. Those are sleepers. They're little frigates. They don't do much, but they will totally annihilate my scanning frigate pretty easily. So, we are warped off to an effectively it's safe. It's old gas that I have partially cleared. We're going to go through and refine out what we have here. So, as of recently, Eve has been somewhat boring. My group of guys, which is an absolutely fantastic group of guys, is we just have not been active this summer at all. And Eve usually sees this kind of hit. It causes all kinds of interesting things in nullsec to happen. ISN is new. ICL no longer exists. And NQ no longer exists. SAU, really a bunch of these disappeared. SGT doesn't exist. Everything down to TNF doesn't exist. So TNF, TWV, Tango Whiskey, whatever the heck V is. Can never remember V. What's V? Delta. V. Victor. Victor. Awesome. So UST. We're now into UV-Dub, which no longer exists by UV-Dub. VKJ does exist. No, yes it does. Oh look, it's right there. Sweet. All right. Xavier Charlie uniform is not on here, so this is new. XWM is new. These other two are there. This one's dead. This one's present. All right, so we've updated our list. Like I said, our corporation has not been super active this summer. We're starting to get a little more active. If any of you have heard of the Archon that might have gotten killed in a C2 wormhole, that was totally us. My buddy, MJ, who we're hoping to do an interview with, and I just notified him of this like 5 minutes ago. Eventually, over here over the next couple of weeks, I'd like to do an interview with him to see how the last one went. We are planning another. It turns out that a carrier in a low-class wormhole actually attracts pretty good content. So, as opposed to last time when they went up just a few guys, we're planning to get most of our guys out with this, and we're going to see if we can just, die in a glorious ball of fire together. It'll be great fun. So, expect that sometime. Expect not only the interview, but hopefully expect a video, if I can get on at the time, with which we will be planning to, and yes, I know I'm not descanning enough, look forward to a video where for that fight, whoever we end up fighting, whenever that comes. I cannot guarantee any kind of time frames, but look forward to that in the future sometime. Hopefully within the next couple months here. You never know. Those things take a little bit to build. Take the resources to get together, and we have more people who are trying to get ships together this time. So it'll be lots of fun. I hope you guys can stay tuned for that. And so if you guys have not already, please do subscribe so you guys get a notification for when those kind of videos come out in the near future. Near-ish future for some of them. All right, so we're going to go ahead and scan. This will not be I'm not going to tell you how to scan. I'm going to tell you how I scan. And like I said, I know I'm not hitting descan enough. Never hit descan enough. You almost never can hit descan enough. If you are hitting it scan enough, then you know it, and you get bored really quick. Because you're hitting it once every a second and a half, 2 seconds or something like that. You can actually catch cloaky things coming into your hole. Because your scan intervals are shorter than it takes them to... what the heck? There's a raptor here? Interceptor. Where the heck is this interceptor going? Okay, this needs to drop. We need to go to the static high sec, which is still up. We'll warp at 30 and see if he is hanging out over there. We do have 5 signatures that are new that we have not accounted for. One of them at least has to be our C3 static. So we're going to find that out in a little bit here. We're warping into the high sec, which should probably be EOL. EOL means that it's approaching the end of its life. There it is. Which means I can scroll up here on our little mini map and set EOL. I also need to delete off this connection. If you guys have never seen this before, this is Siggy. It is a fantastic wormhole tool that we use, and it draws maps of our wormholes that we're flying through. It is incredibly useful. Wormhole space would be an absolute pain in the butt without it. Thank you guys for the developers of Siggy. I cannot name you guys right away. I think they have something to do with Hard Knocks. Like the guy who designed it is also part of Hard Knocks. Not 100% sure. Please don't quote me on that. If you guys are curious further about that, hopefully someone will post in the comments about where they're actually from. And the developer, which I can probably screw around with a little bit. Contact. Borked Labs Corporation. Interesting. Jake Tronic. If you have any support issues, questions, feedback, feel free to send an email to the character. Fantastic. Alright. He probably gets a regular number of emails. Siggy is really strong, but it's kind of like hard to put your name on something and say, if for support, contact this. You're not going to get much people talking to you. So let's see. Let's continue to scan this out. These take a little bit to scan out. My scanning technique's not perfect. This guy has level 5 astrometrics and level 4 the rest of his support skills. No implants in his head. He is not using a full rack of scanning arrays in his mids, so he's not as fast as possible. He's also flying in a regular T2 scanning frigate. Pretty good. I don't think they're the exact best. Like, there's potentially something else you could buy that would be better, but also really expensive. So he's doing fairly good. I'd probably say he's getting 70% of what you really could, somewhere around there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to save this, show you guys. If you're looking like this for how to get into and how a Wormhole Corporation will work, use this kind of as an idea, but every Wormhole Corporation will do something like these different. Our naming system, we kind of just came up, it was only like a dozen guys in our group. So we kind of all do almost our own thing almost. It's all fairly close. Every corporation generally will have different folders to put their bookmarks in. This is a relic site, so it goes in the relic data combat site folder. I put in the signature at the front. We copy it over to Siggy, so Siggy knows what it is, and so you can take one look and know where everything is. Next, we'll scan the next site. It's all pretty standard. Like I said, every corporation is different, and you will need to use this as an understanding that people will put things in bookmarks. They will have a naming convention for them. It depends on every single different group for how strict they are on naming conventions and like how tight they kind of hold to them. So understand that. But this is not a definitive how-to guide as to how to scan for your Wormhole Corporation. Like I said, everybody's different. So I'm going to go ahead and skip through the rest of these. Wow, that scanned fast. I love when they scan quick. All right, well, the Raptor's not over here, though. I'm sure he landed and jumped before I got here. I'm not seeing it again on scan, though he would have seen my probes if he was scanning. Let's put ISN. You can also manually do stuff over here, which is nice. ISN is a wormhole. We will be landing on it. It is 0477, which is our C3 static. All right, a little bit of information on it. Has not had stability signature disruption, so it has at least 50% mass left remaining. Is beginning to decay, so it started its life cycle has less than 24. Well, in this case, this specific wormhole has less than 16 hours it lives, but more than 4. So that's nice. That's fairly regular. I need to save this in our wormhole folder. And chances are, if you're part of a corporation, they'll have wormhole folders for you. I'm going to put in the ID, the first 3 letters of the ID, where it goes from to static C3 is what we're just going to call it. Nice and simple. We'll also have to go into the previous bookmarks and fill out the old one because wormholes are constantly changing who they're connected to. Very nice feature of wormholes. So we're going to go ahead and ignore this result, jump on to the next one. What is that one? That looks like something we could scan out relatively quickly. Is it UST? No. It's Yankee Hotel Alpha. Yay, phonetic alphabet. Okay. We'll just put right between there and scan both out. Alright, like I said, we're going to skip to the front and we'll see you guys in a second. Alright, so we're back. I just got done scanning the last one, and it turns out that it is a wormhole, a K162, which is about a 50-50 chance that you find a K162. It just means like a wormhole spawns from one location, goes to the other, when you're on the receiving end of that wormhole that connects two things, it's called the K162. That's how that works. So computer says wormhole, K162. If you hit information on it, we can learn further things. This paragraph has nothing to do with much information you want to gather. It's a cool description. Read it once or once a year to keep yourself fresh. So the wormhole seems to lead to dangerous unknown parts of space. Dangerous unknown is what we're looking for here. This wormhole is beginning to decay and probably won't last another day, which means it's not end of life. It's not going to be collapsing within a couple of hours. It'll last for at least that long. The wormhole has not had its stability significantly disrupted by ships passing through it, which means it has at least half mass. It has not had like a lot of traffic through it yet. And larger ships can pass through this wormhole, which means it's not a frig hole. If it says larger ships, which means it means like everything up to a battleship, everything short of a capital can fit through here. Orcas can go through. They're kind of the iffy capital. So what you see is everything short of a capital, excluding orcas, get on. I can fly through here, which is really nice. But a very large ships, when it does say it'll go between C5, C6s, and if they connect to a K-space or they connect to each other, it could be a very large ship can pass through this hole, which means a capital ship can go through. We're talking carriers and dreadnoughts and rock rolls, not necessarily super capitals. No super carriers are running through here. No Titans are allowed to run through here ever. So for now, who knows what CCP is doing? They're always doing something in their back labs. Another thing you'll see is medium ships. That is a low-class wormhole. You're talking like C1. You're talking battle cruisers and below, and it's a mass thing. That's just generally what class fits. So you're looking at generally the battleships will not fit. I don't know of any battleship that'll fit through a C1 hole, but I haven't checked the actual numbers. That's kind of just guideline. And what you'll see is only small or very small ships. There's only one. It's called either of those or something really close to it. That is a frigate hole. It is possible to get frigates and destroyers through those holes, and a heavy interdiction cruiser, if you're using bubbles, can also jump through that hole. If it has its bubbles on, because bubbles are the only module in the game that give you a mass reduction, to my knowledge. If that's incorrect, please correct me in the comments, and if you are curious if I'm wrong, go check the comments. So, we have learned what we can about this hole. I'm going to enter in the information here. This is home. Create a little arrow here to dangerous unknown. Submit. Alright, so now that we have in this in here, I'm going to plug it into Siggy quick. K162 from Dangerous Unknown. Hit save. We're going to jump through this and find out who lives on the other side. So first thing I'm going to do is recall my probes. Paladin's online. I think that's left in space. Because I don't think Nem flies a Paladin. And I made fun of Nem. This is like half hour ago. But made fun of him because I don't ever see him online. I'm not on very often. And he's on much less often than I am, so I had to give him a little crap for not getting online. It looks like he is buying a Damnation, which I think he's getting set up for Ship in a Bottle 2, which would be very fun. I'm very excited to make a video about that. It should be lots of fun. All right, so we're going to decloak to get us jumping through a little bit faster. We'll see what Siggy has to say about this. I'm going to kick my map off. Wormholes are pretty. They're so pretty. All right, we jump through. First, I'm going to hit scan. Well, first thing you see the overview. Next, you're going to hit scan. Nothing's popped up. This is a C5 pulsar, according to Siggy. We're going to call this C5Z. I don't see any activity level. I'm going to leave this unknown. I don't see one here right away. I'm going to go ahead right away. Next in the immediate checklist of things to do immediately when jumping through a new wormhole is bookmark your way home. I have probes. I could scan it back out, but that kind of sucks. I'm going to check this super quick. There's only 4 SIGs here. That makes me think it's an active system. There's a number of garrisons, strongholds, quarantine area, and an ore site in here, which actually I have a ship that's capable of running those solo. This is pretty much the highest sites you can run solo as far as PvE. So I'm going to get ready to decloak here in the next couple seconds. I want to check the map quick and see what my D-scan actually ended up scanning. Let's see. That rune reached. These runes it did not. Let's warp to the sun. About 50. Just random distance that's not 0 and not 100. 100 is a whole lot safer than 0. Do not warp at 0. That's silly. One guy could go warp to the sun at 0, put a container down. You'd stop there and get decloaked, which would be sad. So we come out here. We got a saber, a raven. Saber, yay. Yay, bubbles. I don't want to play with bubbles. but he can't really do much to anything to me because I am invisible, which is really nice. Unless, you know, he decloaks me or bubbles me or, yeah, whatever. Insert your problem here. They're all on these closer planets. I did scan that one. I did scan that one. I have not scanned all the way out here. So let's ditch this moon and scan this moon. Let's come down to 6 AUs to see which set of planets they are on. I think the saber moved. Did the saber move? The saber moved. Gosh darn it. I sure hope he's not bubbling my way home. Let's find out something cool about this hole quick. What is their static? This is their static. We are their static. It's possible that we are their only connection. This could be a dead-end system. Entirely possible because there's only 4 signatures here. So let's see about where other places they could be. I still have 2 force fields and a raven. Roller thing too. Oh no. Please don't roll me in here. I should probably be ready to be tight to my hole. 3 AUs. Check to see if they're on that next planet. I did lose a force field. There is a POS out here on planet 7, which sucks because I almost got a ton of moons. I don't want to check and see if they're all there. I kind of want just to keep my scan going, just so I know where they are. Just so I know when that raven leaves, because I know I might want to run home. All right, we'll drop down to 2 because the next one excludes. The next one is at one of these 2 moons. I'm gonna take a 50-50 chance. Warp to 1. We'll generally warp to 20 or 30 kilometers because you warp to 0. Someone, like I said, puts a container down, puts a bubble out, anything like that, and you're suddenly not having a good day because you're visible in front of the tower. And yes, it's easy to warp off, but you must be looking to see if you are visible or not. I've lost at least 2 scanning ships to towers. Totally a shameful thing. This raven is piloted. I'll check him out. Roller thing too. The name kind of makes me think that is a rolling ship. There is no velocity on it. There is a bubble. Where in the world is this bubble place? Placed right on the edge. That's a ton of stuff. So if you warped from the planet to here, this bubble would suck. Crap! Don't approach. Don't stop. Don't do that. Stop. This bubble would suck you in, and this side is just covered in Ewar. I want to say there's some small autocannons here too. This is just designed for eating scanning ships. Lots of Ewar. I'm really surprised I didn't get sucked into this ball. This is actually a pretty good trap. Most people use drones. They're, oh crap, off. Just like I thought the raven warped off. I was like, no, don't leave. I'm watching you. I have an XLSMA. The corporation who owns this is named, it's called Repo Industries Power Logistics Support. There are 64 members. That is not a small group. I only seen 2 so far. So, but with one being a saber, the other one's a raven rolling, I kind of figured they ran into a C2. They may or may not have liked. Ours is fairly, actually, there's quite a bit of stuff on our C2 right now as far as sites and signatures, and we do have a high 6 static, which is super nice. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to put in Intel, though this is not a system I'm probably ever going to connect to again. Plant 5 Moon 1, owner, Repo Industries, IE. All right. It is a Minmatar control tower. Considering that it has an XLSMA, I assume it's a large. Yeah, Minmatar control tower. If it doesn't say if it's medium or small, it is a large. For those who do not know, passes. Let's see. Notes. All the things. Normally I'm more descriptive. Recently I've gotten more lazy because it doesn't really matter in this hole. And Adipos. 0, tag 0. Actually, it was planet 5. Actually, one further than this. Planet 6. Moon 0. Owner. Unknown. Type. I assume Minmatar control tower because those are the only ones that are popping up. Minmatar large online. Who knows? Notes, mer. I should put notes didn't scan. That would have been funnier. All right. So the Raven's here. He's not doing anything. In a situation where we had people online, we were able to kill this Raven. And knowing there's nothing else in this hole, which I've not checked the last moon yet. I should probably check the last moon. Last planet way out here. To see if there's anybody hanging out here. Like I said, bravo. Bravo, if you're from Reaper Industries and you know of this bubble trap or designs bubble trap, bravo to you, sir. Or ma'am, you know, however that works. Because that looks like a pretty good bubble trap. So technically you could get reported for the bubble. Any bubbles being in space for any like real duration of time can get reported to start taking up space. I'm not exactly sure how the process works, but they usually get taken down within a day or two, something like that. But Venture, Tornado, a gajillion containers, Slutner, Saber, Helios, Buzzard, great. Well, I'm not doing anything in this hole. Have any force fields? Just 2. That's not so bad. I don't know if any of these are piloted. I kind of don't even feel like checking if they're piloted. I kind of just want to warp back home. We're going to warp at range and see if there's anything on the hole. I'm going to put this down as hostile. There are ships moving in here. I'll put it down as active. I'll just bring us a nice big red thing. Alright. Well, it kind of shoots out doing anything, you know, fun tonight, but this is kind of getting to the end of the recording. I'm going to go jump to static real quick and see if there's anything interesting in there. I kind of doubt there is. So, if that's all there is, that's all there is. You guys have a fantastic rest of your evening, and thanks for joining us. Look forward for future videos. We want to do that interview with our court mate about the first ship in the bottle, and look for that fight about ship in the bottle too. Alright, thank you guys for stopping. You guys have a fantastic